Hey guys, welcome to the Think Tank. How's everybody doing? Thursday. Whoop whoop. One more day till the weekend. Yeah, Tracy Storms. How you doing? Shauna P9. Good to see you. Hey Mexi. Good to see you guys. You know, I have been doing a lot on Delphi lately, and I hope everyone's good with that. Nice to hear P9. Ooh, thank you, Mexi. So, yeah, I know I've been doing a lot on Delphi, but I like what the hell is going on? I cannot make sense out of this stuff in any which way. I mean, what are you guys thinking now? Is Richard Allen a patsy? What's going on with the court? Is something up with this judge? Toby Lesenby? Carter? I mean, what the actual hell is going on out there? Hello, Dandy. Oh, my word, guys. Let's see. I'm going to try this. See which one I'm going to do first. Let's go here. Yeah, McClelland. Oh, my God. It's just a ish, guys. You know, Mexi and I were talking before stream, and what the hell? I don't know what to say about what's going on here. It's just unreal. Go back over here. There we are. DNA all over the button. That's sure what it's starting to look like, isn't it, P9? It's starting to look like there's some kind of cover-up, and yeah. Hey, Mel. How you doing? Sketch AF. I'm doing the same, Dandy. Starting to wonder about RA and if he's the right guy because the corruption does seem real. You know, when Baldwin came out after that really brief appearance, he told us, journalists, get at her. You know, he's basically telling us to dig, to look into these people. That's the way I took it personally. I could be wrong, but that is the way I took it, which means I'm going to start. I've got a list of ones that I want to watch and kind of go through. I need to go through those documents again. I've printed most of them off, but what the hell? I was watching a video with him on the bridge in the big. I'm beginning to have a moment of, is this him? Yeah. Yeah. You know, the secrecy that's been going on. I mean, what happened in Chambers the other day? How on God's green earth is a judge asking the prosecutor if he thinks that these defense attorneys should stay? What the hell is that? And she also did not give them time to respond. It was basically, from the way I'm hearing it, if you don't step down, I'm going to humiliate you to the point that you don't come back. So they responded and they said they're not leaving. She said, yes, you are. Well, Richard Allen doesn't want them to leave. He doesn't want to start all over. The judge, the way she has it set now, is we're not looking until for trial for another year, next October. So hypothetically, let's just say Richard Allen is not the guy. Let's just say he is the guy, but he has not had his due process. Is he supposed to stay locked up for another year due to something that happened? Oh, it's just such a mess. I can't, my head's spinning. My head is literally spinning. I don't know. What do you do with this guy now? Do you keep him locked up? Do you put an ankle bracelet on him? Do you house him somewhere? What do you do? Do you literally keep him locked up for another year because the court didn't keep control of her courtroom. Yeah. I personally think this case needs to be moved to another county and everyone needs replaced. That's what I think. I think that would be very fair. So if they do that, what do? Do they hold on to him for another year? So that's 2 years due to the court's screw up, in my personal opinion. Of course, the think tank is always alleged. Don't sue me. He should not be locked up this long. They need to release. I think so. Problem, the law is you're innocent until proven guilty. But with this case, it's a mess. In New York, they kept a underage boy locked up for 5 years for stealing oh no, a backpack? Like a book pack? Look at Sarah Boone. She's been behind bars this whole time without a trial yet. Well, she keeps freaking losing her attorneys. She's not getting along with everybody. I don't know what to think of her. Loony boony. Okay, let's take a look here. So judge confirms defense attorney dismissal in the Delphi double M case. Carroll County, Indiana. The latest hearing in the case of accused deleter Richard Allen was due to start at 9 a.m. in the third floor courtroom of Carroll Circuit Court in Delphi yesterday. Allen is accused of the 2017 unalivings of Abby Williams and Libby German near the Monon High Bridge outside of Delphi. Today's hearing was to introduce Allen to his new defense team and set a new date for the trial next year. Allen's original defense team had other ideas. At 8:59 a.m., the back door of the courtroom banged open as Bradley Rossi and Andrew Baldwin strode quickly with purpose to the defense table before the bench took over the space, setting their briefcases on the wooden tabletop, sitting down to face their opponent, prosecutor, and await the judge who objected to their continued presence in her courtroom, and the new attorneys would be replacing them by Richard Allen's side. These guys they're not going to get pushed around, and I am admiring that part of it. They seem to think he's innocent. So if that's the case, I really have to push all of that odonistic stuff to the side. Okay, give me 2 seconds, kids. Or maybe not. I'm back. How you doing, Lizzie? Sorry about that. The girls needed out. Okay, so they sat there as the minutes ticked by before packed rows of media, spectators, law enforcement, and the families of the two girls. You see, this is the thing. The two girls, the families. Rossi and Baldwin both stopped to acknowledge Ellen's wife and mother seated closest to the courtroom door to the public hallway near the media as Baldwin assured the women, the whole world is watching. And yes, we are. Within minutes, Carroll County prosecutor Nicholas McClelland left the courtroom only to reappear and confer with a sheriff's deputy standing in tactical gear as he pointed in the direction of the defense team before stepping outside again. Oh my God. So why in God's green earth is he getting involved in this? This is not his argument. This is for the court to decide, not for the lawyers. Hello, James. Good to see you, friend. So, why is he getting involved? What is it with this guy? I agree with Dandy. I think maybe an ankle bracelet, something, because I don't know how to keep him in there for another year. And I mean, everybody, go. Be gone with you. At 9:34, the new defense co-counsel, Robert Scremin and William Labrado, veteran attorneys handpicked by Judge Gall from her home court in Allen County to replace Baldwin and Rossi to defend Richard Allen. They entered the room, conferred briefly with Baldwin before taking seats just off the defense table. I heard they were sitting behind him. I'm not sure, behind them. At 9:44, Judge Gall entered through an office door to the right of the bench and called the court to order. A minute later, the jingle of ankle chains was heard in the back of the courtroom as the defendant, in a yellow jumpsuit, flanked by 3 Indiana Department of Corrections officers, also in tactical gear, who accompanied him from his Westville Correctional Facility pretrial detention cell. Why are all of these men in tactical dealing with this 5'4" man? And I'm not saying he's innocent. This has got nothing to do with that. This has got to do with what's going on as far as prosecutors. The judge, Francis Gull. Who does he get for lawyers? Do we stand still? Slowly, Allen made his way to the defense table, having put a bit more weight, putting on, yeah, he looks better than he did, adding a little color to his face and appearing more engaged with this hearing as opposed to his last public court appearance in the spring. Yeah, he was a mess last spring. Oh la. For some reason, I thought, but I mean, I'm not part of the US legal system. I live in Canada. But I kind of thought that they were allowed to pick their own lawyers. I'm not positive, but I thought for some reason you were allowed to pick your own lawyers. He knows. Did he really? Is that true, Mexi? I'm not real sure how that works. They go for bail, but if you're denied, then you stay until it's over, I guess. I thought one of our amendments says a year, but I think it's meant to get charged. He's been charged, just not gone to trial. So that might make a difference. He fell down the stairs, surrounded by guards who were holding on to him. He fell on the stairs. Did he? That's the thing, Frankie. Are we going to pick at this? Are we going to pick at this for a whole nother year? Innocent? Nah. Guilty? AF? Allegedly? Yeah. I think the Patriot Act changed the length of time you can be held for without a conviction. How long has he been behind bars? A full year in October. Now, all this, be interesting to see what happens, whether they throw out the case totally, but then would it be double jeopardy? I know you can't pick your public defender, but they can be assigned to you. So these guys are offering to work with him pro bono. So doesn't that mean that he doesn't need a public defender? Let me know what you're thinking. So the judge called the roll of the defendant's attorneys as all answered in the affirmative before Rossi announced to the court that Mr. Allen has asked up to represent him. Asked us. Late afternoon on Monday, dear Jazzy out there, anticipating their pending dismissal, Rossi and Baldwin filed notices of appearance with the court, acting in pro bono fashion to continue Allen's representation as private attorneys working for free. So that's the part that I wonder about. Come on, Jazz. Give me 2 seconds. She's barking at deer. Come on, Jazz. Let's go. Come on. Jazzy. Come on. Jazzy, come on. Let's go. Okay, come on. Let's go. Let's go. Get back. Lizzie, get back. I probably should have muted that before I stopped yelling. You didn't hear me yelling at Jazzy. The deer will jump over the fence, and it's like, oh no. Don't tell them off because they'll get you. Okay, Dandy climbing on the bathroom sink to paint. Jazzy, come back. Well, hey, Tony, good to see you. Hey, Canadian. Oh, did I miss Aries? Hey, Aries, good to see you. Okay. Okay, so late Monday afternoon, anticipating their pending dismissal, Rosie and Baldwin filed notice of appearance with the court, acting in pro bono fashion to continue Alan's representation as private attorneys working for free. So we went through all of that paperwork yesterday, all those documents. Judge Gall referred back to the attorney's promises to step down behind closed doors in her Fort Wayne chambers on October 9th, while other courtroom packed with observers waited for a delayed court hearing focused on Ellen's fate. And at that meeting, the judge confronted Baldwin and Rosie with gross negligence and insisted upon their withdrawals from the case, lest she make a finding in open court, and read a prepared statement. Today in Delphi, the attorneys told the court they wanted back on the job. You withdrew, the judge says. What's changed? You left us no choice, Rosie argued, calling their professional intent to withdraw a strategic move to protect Richard Allen's rights to counsel while attempting to intervene in what it viewed as the court's violation of the client's due process. Once he and Baldwin were back on the case, the replacement public defenders should tap out and let the original team proceed with its defense, maintained Rosie. Nothing's changed, said the judge. We did not act with gross negligence, said Rosie. We're just on a different page. Judge Gall turned to the prosecutor for his take on the defense team's attempt to stay on board. What the hell? Why is McClelland even having an opinion in this? It's like, are you freaking kidding me? And she did this in open court by the looks of things. So McClelland said, I'm at a loss, and insisted Baldwin and Rosie were indeed grossly negligent. What the hell? So then proceed to a list of several alleged defense transcripts. Okay, guys. I'm going to do this over. Take 2. I'm at a loss, said McClelland, who insisted Baldwin and Rosie were indeed grossly negligent, and then proceeded to list several alleged defense transgressions, including 2 separate leaks of evidence, an aggressive statement arguing their client's insistent lies in the form of a motion to dismiss the warrant used to search Ellen's house for incriminating evidence in the fall of last year, and espousing a theory that cult worshippers may have played a role in the passing of the girls. So, again, why is he getting a voice in this? I don't even understand how that's ethical. But this courtroom, I don't know, this woman, personally, I believe she has lost total control. She doesn't know how to work if she doesn't have total control. And I do think she's sketchy AF. Just my personal opinion. I'm not liking what I'm seeing. They're trying to push this in the media and try this in the public eye, asserted McClelland, repeating the gross negligence allegation. Why is McClelland getting a voice? Then it was time for the judge to address the man accused. Mr. Allen, I understand you want them, Baldwin and Rosie, but I have grave concerns, she said. I know that you want, but cannot and will not allow them to represent you. I cannot allow that. A judge reiterated her determination of gross negligence on behalf of the original defense team and told Ellen that Labrado and Scremen would now be defending him. Ellen did not speak, nor was offered the opportunity to do so. Wow. Judge Gall then granted the motion by the new defense attorneys to continue the trial past its previous set date of January 8th, 2024, and concluded by saying to Ellen, I'm sorry that this has happened. Whatever. The then former attorneys assured the court that they would be returning all the evidence in their possession to the prosecutor no later than the end of this week, so that the boxes could be delivered to Labrado and Scremen as they might begin building a defense for their reluctant client. The judge said she intends to hold the jury selection in Fort Wayne and set an October 15th, 2024 trial date, another year. Frank's motion to dismiss the search warrant and other suppression motion filed by the original defense lawyers are still pending. So that's going to be that Frank's motion. And yeah, all of that paperwork. So we did go through most of that. Baldwin then asked if their attorney might address the court, and the judge agreed. So Hennessy argued that his client were unprepared for what has been described as an ambush by the judge in her chambers on October 19th regarding the allegations of the alleged thefts of images of crucial crime scene evidence from Baldwin's office that was leaked to Delphi social media posters, and that if the attorneys had been allowed to present a defense on their own behalf, that day nearly 2 weeks ago in Allen County, the Indiana Public Defender's Council, as well as other offices of the court, would be prepared to testify as to the professionalism of the pair, and that Judge Gall summarily dismissed the attorneys without a hearing. So I was watching last night Vinnie Politan, and one of his experts, a female lawyer, said that she has seen these photos. She said they are out there. They're not easy to find, but they are out there. So that is disgusting. That is horrible. That is wrong on so many levels. But I'm not quite sure at this point who to blame. I know he should have had his office and his cabinets all locked up. It was not a good space for anybody to be in other than those two lawyers. So that's bad. But that was also not both of their offices. So why is it that both lawyers are being penalized? I'm not understanding it. So Hennessy said that his clients were guilty. Hello, Alternate Corner. Good to see you, my friend. Everybody go check out the Alternate Corner. He does some awesome, actually, he's got a great channel. He follows trials, but you know what? His chat is great. The information that you get is great. And he's like awesome. He's just awesome. You'll enjoy the channel. So it is in the description. Check him out. So let's see here. Hennessy said His clients were guilty of no more than a zealous defense of their client and good lawyering. And that's what he's talking about, is that Frank's motion. That was some piece of papers. Like, I mean, what the hell? That's when we get into the Odinists. That's where we get into all sorts of corruption. And that's basically where it started with Judge Fran Gull. She was not interested in hearing any of this. And neither was the prosecution. So Judge Gall interrupted Hennessy and said the issue was not the Frank's motion, but was instead the lawyer's dismissal. He was not to speak of the motion again. Wow. Are you kidding me? So what? She's some kind of control freak? Oh, thank you for that. Welcome, welcome. Even if the lawyers did wrong, they would have to be brought up before the Bar Association. That's what I would think. That's what I would think. It just seems like this particular judge, I just really, really think that there's something up. I really, really do. I can't say exactly where all the issues are, but to me, it's almost looking like there's issues all over the place. Great point, Tony. You would think if there was such gross negligence, that either the judge or McClelland would have put in a complaint with the Bar Association. Well said. I didn't think the judge had the power to decide who defends a person. Neither did I. Neither did I. I just hate to see where this is all going. The families, the girls, the town. Come on. You would think that it would, Tracy. The lawyers are pro bono. Does that make any difference on what the judge can do or not? Well, I'm pretty sure it does. I'm pretty sure it does. Yep. The families. I mean, these little girls, oh my God. Okay, so let's see here. Hennessy countered that motion's construction was an example of the competency of the defense team as opposed to the judge's finding of their gross negligence. Hennessy also argued that he was not allowed access to the private conference in the judge's Fort Wayne chambers and could not address in real time her allegations against the lawyers. This is where they run into trouble. For some reason, McClelland was back there. So why was the defense not back there? Like I said, this has nothing to do with guilt or innocence right now. This has to do with this particular judge losing control of this courtroom and doing things, in my personal opinion, that are fairly unethical. So has submitted an Open Records Act to request the court to seek audio recording for the discussion. And ultimatum behind the closed doors. I'm going to look into that paperwork. I didn't expect to change your mind, Hennessy said to the judge. Outside the courtroom, none of the participants spoke to the media save for Baldwin, who rushed through a clutch of reporters with cameras and microphones. Journalism, he said, now it's time for the journalists to do their jobs. Yes. So if there is something deep down in there, let's find it. Let's expose everything that is going on in Indiana, at least under, I'm sorry, personal opinion, anybody under Doug Carter. I've always thought a little bit off. I just think everybody needs to be looked at again. That's why we looked at Keegan Kline, and that's why we looked at Ron Logan. I'm almost thinking a person has to look at what's happening with the legal system in that area and kind of something's up, guys. So presumably he meant further inquiry into the legal precedent and practice that Judge Gull relied on to dismiss the original defense team. That's the stuff. That's the stuff. Monday, a group of attorneys not affiliated with the case, led by a lawyer representing a major Indianapolis law firm, filed a writ of mandamus seeking an Indiana Supreme Court to review Judge Gull's handling of the case, specifically related to the publication of motions and documents in the court's docket. The Supreme Court has instructed all parties to post briefs in the case by November 9th. 4 hours after leaving the courtroom and returning to Indianapolis, Hennessy filed a withdrawal of limited appearance as Baldwin's attorney, indicating that judicial overreach rendered his continuing representation moot. The finding was erroneous, said Hennessy. Crooked AF. Yeah, let's go visit. Yeah, I'm starting to think you're right. She does, Tracy. Yeah, looking into her, and she needs to answer a few things. Yeah, and answer for a few things. She's just, I mean, not what you want to see in office, behind making judgments on others. She is not. How would you put it? She's not qualified. She's proving that. Emails reveal details in Delphi evidence leak. Wow. So we're pretty much all in agreement. Start over or what? I think I'm seeing most everyone thinking that maybe clean slate. So if we do a clean slate, what do we do with Richard Allen now? Yes, I'm on my way over, guys. I'm seeing some good comments. Yep. This is why guilty people go free. Corruption. Well said, friend. The Supreme Court would be absolutely stupid not to give this attention it deserves. The whole world is watching. Well said, Mexi. She's the boss in that courtroom. Instead, it's been kindergarten behavior, and the victims' families have to watch this. You know what? Well said. I mean, I've got a pit in my stomach for those families. Kelsey, the sister of Libby, the older sister, my heart just goes out to her. It's just, they're not getting any kind of justice at all. And I hope they do before this show ruins everything. I'd hate to face that creepy weirdo judge that's trying to destroy Trump. I don't know who he is. You know me in politics, nothing. Maybe the defense paid the judge to throw down the trial. Ooh, that's a thought. Let Richard have the attorneys he wants. Have a judge put it on record that Richard can never come back and appeal a shoddy lawyer work, and let's be done with it. Yep. Yep. You said it. They'll get justice, just another year to wait. Do you think that they're going to be able to get justice, though, with all of this ish that's been plaguing this case from the beginning? I'm not sure yet. I'm really, really worried for this case, more so than most cases that I've covered in the past couple of years. This one is disturbing me. Among hundreds of pages of documents filed with the Indiana Supreme Court are copies of an email chain that confirmed the passing of an individual involved in the leaking of sensitive Delphi crime scene evidence to online groups. So, yeah, this guy, he unalived himself over this. Literally. Buried in a 240-page filing are copies of email exchanges between Judge Francis Gull, Carroll County Prosecutor Nicholas McClellan, and Richard Allen's original defense team of Brad Rossi and Andrew Baldwin. Mexi, have we found that paperwork? Do we know? I'm not remembering a 240-page. I'm remembering some text messages, but I'm not remembering documents this large. According to the previous reports and an email from McClellan, defense attorney Andy Baldwin informed the judge and Carroll County prosecution on October 10th that his former employee had gone into his office sometime in August and taken pictures of sensitive crime scene evidence related to the deleting of Abby Williams and Libby German in Delphi in February of 2007. These little girls were found on Valentine's Day. The former associate then forwarded the sensitive information to a fisherman who was employed at the Fort Wayne, U.S. Air Force Base. This individual is accused of forwarding the information on further, where it was eventually made public on online groups and creators' content that follow this case. In an email written by McClellan, just before 4 a.m. on October 12th, the Carroll County prosecutor informs the judge and Allen's defense team that Indiana State Police investigators went to the fisherman's home to obtain information about the leak. The fisherman reportedly refused to answer any of the police officer's questions and said he wanted an attorney. Not long after this encounter, the fisherman reportedly took his own and self-inflicted. This is getting serious and way out of control, gentlemen, McClellan said, informing the judge that Allen's defense team that fisherman had been married and had a child. The accused leaker had reportedly been worried sick after police arrived at his home, according to information given to McClellan and relayed in the email chain. McClellan ended his email by pleading with the defense team to come forward if they have any additional information about evidence leak, calling the fisherman's passing the latest in bizarre twists in this case. I don't want to get another phone call like this, McClellan said, citing his own worry for other individuals, including Baldwin's former employee involved in the leaked evidence. Oh my God. Unreal. I'm going to hydrate. Unreal. Oh my goodness. I'm going to look around and see if Abby's mom or Libby's grandparents, possibly parents, see if anybody's spoken out about this. But we get all these damn gag orders and we get this and we get that. So when things go sideways and it could possibly be an issue with the court, well, then what? Yeah, the fisherman did unalive himself. Yep. I think the same, Mexi. It just literally makes me ill. Yep. Okay, we'll start here. They'll not likely get a conviction. People are too confused, including the judge and lawyers. Well said. What's going to happen on November 9th if the Supreme Court finds that there was wrongdoing? I think she'd be out, wouldn't she, most likely? I'm thinking. They would have to find a jury that isn't or hasn't been affected by this in one way or another, and that could become another problem. Yep, brand new trial, courtroom judge, juries, attorneys, it will happen. That's what we want at this point. Yep, McClellan said they already knew about the leak 30 hours before the defense told them. Why? Yep, why did he not? Very good question. They have to know, how could it go any further without doing that? This has and is been a disaster since day one. It has. After 5 years, people's memory get foggy and it will be harder to get a conviction. Valentine's Day, I mean, come on. How cruel to take two beautiful girls' lives on that day is even more horrid. I think so too. Harshly, he should be charged. Yep. I mean, he can't just get away with this, can he? He'll end up getting so all behind bars. That's how they'll release some medical grounds. Oh. Yeah. I honestly think that Richard is capable. Yes, agreed. The lead attorneys are responsible for all their clients' materials, so it's a fine line. Yep, well said. Yeah, such a fine line between attorneys and judge. Who holds the power more in a courtroom? Well, I think this judge figures she's the boss of everybody. That's my thoughts. I think she's sketch. Yeah, it sounds like McClellan runs this courtroom. There you are. There you are. I think you're right. Yep, it's disgusting. The power is in the law, not an individual. And that right there is what makes this case so terrifying. Yep, agreed. Tony, I agree, but both sides, judge and attorney, took an oath with the law in our countries, and both sides are taking the Michael out of it. So who then becomes blame? Yeah. Damn. Okay, also mentioned in the email chain were defense attorney Roz's concern that a local content creator obtained copies of crime scene photos as part of an evidence leak. Yes, they did. Yes, they did. So if I remember correctly, I could be wrong. So again, don't sue me. But I do believe it was sent to the murder sheet. They do a podcast and they seem to get pretty much all the information. I'm not quite sure who their ins and outs are, but yeah, they get some interesting stuff before anybody else does. Judge Gull stated in an email that local content creators are not journalists and have no right to claim any type of privilege. She wrote that if content creators would not divulge how they obtained the evidence or return the photographs to police, she would issue an order that would result in their arrests if they failed to obey. She's just a bossy biatch. This is a drastic measure I should not have to take, but will if necessary, Gull wrote. She's just a biatch. Power, power, power. The news of the leaked evidence ended up leading to Gull calling a hearing on October 19th. At the hearing, Gull announced that Andrew Baldwin had originally announced his intention to withdraw from the case. She said Rosie would also be withdrawing in the coming days. Both Baldwin and Rosie have since fought against this portrayal, claiming that they were coerced by the judge but never filed to withdraw from the case. Gull has since assigned new defense team for Allen, with Rosie recently filing for Gull to be removed for the case for overstepping her authority. On Monday, Richard Allen asked the Indiana Supreme Court to weigh in on the matter. I think that's about all he can do. I think that's about all he can do. Why you have posted those photos if they were sent to you, Canadian? No, I would turn it into the cops and delete everything. That would be the best I could do. Forward it to them, let them know where I got it from, and let them do their job and just delete what I've got. I mean, I've had sensitive information sent to me in the past, and actually about this case, to be honest with you. And what I did is I forwarded that to the FBI, got rid of the information, and let them deal with it. Because I don't know if it was real or not, but I'm not the FBI. They can figure that ish out because I didn't need that stuff. So it would have been the same thing. Send to probably the FBI. There's one contact that's I don't mind using. Quite a few YouTubers seem to have gotten hold of certain photos. Yeah, the only one that I've showed is the F on that tree, or the alleged F. But yeah, I could not show those kids. Not a frickin' hope. By the sounds of it, on top of everything else, it seems the attorney's blaming the judge and the judge is blaming attorneys. Without all of the rest of the crazy, this is on its own enough to throw it out. I think you're right, Tracy. I really do. I personally think the seagull is walking a fine line with the legality of what she's doing. We call seagulls, I do, I can't say everyone, I do. Hey, Blifton. I call them beach chickens. They're like beach chickens. What is silly to me is her order to return the photos to the police. Digital? I think they were digital. I think you're right. She's a court chicken. Cece. Hey, get that. Cece. Court chicken. Yeah, beach chickens. If she has proof, she needs to show it. You can't just suggest things and take her word. No. And this person's just getting less and less reliable as she goes. She's just looking sketchier and sketchier. Go for it. So this comes from Law and Crime. And I personally like him. I don't know if everyone does. I like Vinny. I like his style. So Judge obliterated my tongue. Accused Delphi deleter's rights by conjuring up findings of gross negligence by his lawyers. I don't know how this is going to work. Oh, I know, right, Mexi? So it was him last night that had the lawyer on there that said she has seen these photos. I think the judge just doesn't like the Odinism defense. You know what? Because that's when things started to go sideways, right? You know, if Rosie and Baldwin shared the same office, I would put the weight on Rosie too, but I don't believe that's the case. Oh, yeah. Well said. We have quite a few beach chickens around Bowery Beach. Like the Odinism thing, that's not the judge's rule to say what he can use as a defense or not. That's the thing. But that is when everything started to go sideways. Yes, it would definitely be a miscarriage of power. And you know what? I think that's what I'm seeing with my very own eyes. I mean, as we know, not a lawyer, little Canadian, sitting in front of her desk researching these POSs. They like McDonald's food. And if you're really bored, throw your McDonald's fries like on a car close to you. I'm joking. Yeah. Even these judges are pushing their boundaries with law. Look at the judge with the mobile phone. Oh, right. Yeah. Sitting there on her mobile phone. I seen that. Wow. Unreal. Let's see what Law and Crime had to say. So, Brad Rossi, Andrew Baldwin. So, the judge appointed to preside over the high-profile Delphi case on Tuesday formally removed the two court-appointed defense attorneys who had been representing accused leader Richard Allen. The decision from Special Judge Franky Gull, she's special, all right, came after Brad Rossi and Andrew Baldwin had both agreed to remain on the case pro bono, free of charge, making yet another bizarre twist in that case that has seen several in the last few months, I'll say. I have great concern with your representation. I cannot and will not allow them to represent you. I am sorry this has happened to you, Mr. Allen, Gull told the defendant Tuesday's hearing, according to a report from Lafayette, Indiana. The will they, won't they surrounding Rossi and Baldwin's representation of Allen began when Gull came out of chambers at the start of an October 19th hearing, and we did look at that. It's in the playlist that announced that both Rossi and Baldwin had withdrawn from the case. And where was I here? An unexpected turn of events, she called it, but yet she had all the paperwork ready. Not so unexpected. During that hearing, the first to allow broadcast cameras to film the proceedings, Gull said that Baldwin had originally withdrawn from the case after sealed evidence was leaked from his office and provided to a true crime podcast, and then claimed that Rossi was also withdrawing and planning to submit a written notification to the court. But I don't think that happened. I mean, they have to own their own ish, but she can't be adding to it if she doesn't know the facts. But Rossi never submitted his resignation. Instead, last week, he filed a series of motions seeking to have himself reinstated as Allen's attorney, and also have Gull disqualified from the proceedings over the trial in the motion to have Gull disqualified from the case. Rozzi said Gull ambushed him and Baldwin with a plan, Hobson's choice, designed to coerce withdrawals. He also alleged that Gull coerced an oral request to withdraw from attorney Rozzi and gave neither opportunity to defend themselves from her accusations. Yeah, she's not playing fair. She's not. She's just kind of making up the rules as she goes by the looks of it. Again, my personal opinion, don't sue me. Gull said the decision to not allow Rozzi or Baldwin to remain on the case, even pro bono, was due to their alleged gross negligence. Like what? David Hennessy, an attorney representing Baldwin. So I can't remember. This judge actually put stuff out accidentally. So it said. So she's leaked. I mean, she's no better, in my opinion. So Gull said the decision to not allow Rozzi or Baldwin to remain on the case, even pro bono, is due to their gross negligence. David Hennessy, an attorney representing Baldwin in the dispute, argued that Gull did not give them proper notification about the alleged negligence, reportedly claiming that her decision to unilaterally remove them from the case violated Ellen's rights and the Constitution. The notion was shared by Bob Moda, criminal defense attorney and host of a true crime podcast, Defense Diaries, who attended the hearing. Judge Gall just obliterated Richard Allen's Sixth Amendment rights to counsel and right to a fair trial as she conjured up a bizarre notion that at the same point she made a finding of gross negligence, despite no hearing ever taking place as to Rozzi and Baldwin's representation of their client. If justice for Abby and Libby is your concern, which it should be, that concept took a massive blow today. It really did. Yes, it did. Moda later added that he thought Judge Gall, at the very least, would follow the law and create a record by having a formal disqualification hearing. In a petition seeking to have the state Supreme Court step in, other attorneys representing Allen since Baldwin and Rozzi's departure argued that Gull had violated her judicial oath and prevented the case from being properly open to the public. What? In a petition seeking to have the state Supreme Court step in, other attorneys representing Allen and Baldwin okay. If there was ever a time when the openness mandated by the trial rules and access to the court records rules was critical, it is the present case. One of the most high-profile cases the state has ever seen. The petition filed Monday states, for many Hughes years, this is the first time they have followed the workings of a court in this state. Yet the trial rules and access to the court records rules have been repeatedly violated, leaving the public and the media in the dark. Allen's newly appointed public defenders filed a request to have his trial pushed back, which Gull granted while originally being set to begin on January 24th, 2024. Allen will now go to trial October 15th to October 31st, 2024. The new attorneys, William S. Labrado and Robert C. Scremin, the third set to represent Allen, wrote in the filing for a continuance that they'd only been appointed 3 days earlier and had not received any discovery material for the case, claiming it would be impossible for the counsel to be ready for the trial in 2024, January. Allen is facing 2 counts of M in the 2017 passing of Abigail Williams and Liberty German, who were discovered in a wooded area just off the Delphi historic trail system. Williams and German vanished. Williams and German vanished while walking to the Monon High Bridge Trail near Delphi, Indiana on February 13th, 2017. The trail traverses an abandoned stretch of what was once the Monon Railroad and crosses an old trestle over to a small river or creek. The girls were found dead, and the next day in an area near the trestle, and the passings were determined to be homicides. Yes. Let's see here. Good question. I wonder how many high profiles this judge has done. Sure doing a shite job at this one. How can anyone show up in court and show the respect it deserves when you have judges doing what they're doing? This is going to cause some other issues with other cases with rules and respect. Yes, it will. And if it comes, I believe that this woman has been playing dirty. It just might affect other cases that she has ruled for. Beach chickens are the size of pterodactyls in Aberdeen. I wonder if he's taken. Do you know what? That's a good question that I honestly, I'm not sure about. James, we had one. It was huge and ugly as hell. It even made our local paper. Yeah. Guilty or innocent, I'd never take a polygraph test. No, they're scary, aren't they? Never taken a polygraph either. It isn't admissible in court. No sense in it. No. And it would stress you right the hell out. Beach chickens in Aberdeen have learned to go into shops and steal the crisps. If they aren't reliable enough for court, they aren't reliable for anything else either. I still don't understand how they could get rid of Rosie if he wasn't involved at all. Yep. Yep. Guilty by association. Do you, Mel? Just as involved? I thought when someone violated a gag order, they get fined and maybe some sanctions against them, but judge removing attorneys, interesting to see what happens. Contempt of court, I think, fines and could be locked up. It's a mess. Tell you what. Accused Delphi deleter gets new attorney's motions to block removal pending. Suspected Delphi deleter Richard Allen has new court-appointed attorneys over his objection for the time being. I have grave concerns about their representation, Gull told Allen, noting he is entitled to a vigorous defense. I cannot and will not let these attorneys represent you. I cannot allow that. But does she have a choice? I'm just wondering. There have always been leaks, way before RA and even a blimp on the radar. It's true. There's so much that's shady shite. And I mean, it's heartbreaking. Yep. So why hasn't anyone bothered to look to see where those came from? Is it because they know they'll find it was Ellie doing it? What kind of representation does a judge expect from court-appointed attorneys? Okay. I have grave concerns about their representation, Gull told Allen, noting he is entitled to a vigorous defense. I cannot and will not let you use these attorneys to represent you. I cannot allow that. I have appointed able counsel to represent you, Gull said, calling for action of first two public defenders, gross negligence. I'm sorry this has happened to you. So why is she bringing her Facebook buddy? And actually, not only is the guy one of Randall's Facebook buddies, but the lawyer's wife is also buddies. You see them out of the courthouse all the time. They go for barbecues together. Oh my God. How is that allowed? Allen faces 2 counts of M and is accused of the deletings, and he has been incarcerated in the segregation unit of the Westville Correctional Facility for a year. Gull's decision, as well as previous decisions since she signed on as special judge, are now an issue before the Indiana Supreme Court. The motions for writ to correct Gull's decisions in the Allen case includes dismissal of defense attorneys. Andrew Baldwin, Brad Rossi was filed Monday and is pending before the Indiana Supreme Court. All parties have until November 9th to submit their briefs and arguments to the Supreme Court according to a order published Tuesday. Baldwin and Rossi said October 19th after a hearing in Gull's chambers that they would withdraw from the case, but neither formally filed the paperwork. Instead, the two filed Monday to represent Allen as private counsel, agreeing to work for free. I think this is going to be one of the bigger problems. There's just so much. Okay, Richard Allen's new attorneys claim there's been a lack of meaningful public access in the Delphi case. Attorneys are asking the Indiana Supreme Court to make access to court filings more public and easier to access. The 2 new attorneys for Richard Allen are asking the Indiana Supreme Court to make access to court filings more public and easier to access after they claim there's been a lack of meaningful public access in the case. In a court document filed Monday, the attorney for Richard Allen, who is accused of attacking Abigail Williams and Liberty German in Delphi back in 2017, claimed that hundreds of documents in this case have been improperly excluded from the public. The attorneys state that 118 documents in this case have been excluded for public access. This also claims that the court has failed to perform the clear, absolute, and imperative duty imposed by the Access to Court Records rules, which state the court records must be publicly accessible. According to their claim, documents are not only being excluded, but made difficult to follow for the average member of the public. The only way a member of the public can access anything in this case is if they somehow know to read the June 28th, 2023 order. See the link embedded herein, and then proceed to open each of the 108 documents until they find the filing they're looking for. Additionally, the state said that 2 documents having been excluded altogether, including a June 2023 filing by the Carroll County Sheriff and a July 5th, 2023 letter from DOC inmate. The attorney also claimed that the trial court in the case has removed documents from the public without any notice. Particularly, they claim that the trial court has removed documents from public access that Richard Allen has specifically his chosen counsel to file on his behalf. The attorney asked the court for a writ of mandamus, ordering the 118 documents be made publicly accessible, and that 2 documents listed above are only excluded if in compliance with the Access to Court Records rules. If there's ever been a time when openness mandated by trial rules and access to court records rules was critical, it's the present case, one of the most high-profile cases the state has ever seen. According to their claim, a writ of mandamus will ensure that going forward, the court is following rules regarding public access without exception. Any opposition to the writ must be filed directly to the Supreme Court on or before November 9th, 2023. So it looks like maybe this judge has got a few things to deal with. Unreal, guys. How you doing? One more. We'll chit chat and we're done for a while. Edibles allowed on overseas flights. No Shauna in a suitcase. I agree. My prediction still holds and even seems to be gaining legitimacy. This will not go to trial at all. I'm starting to worry about that, friend. Oh, yeah, that's not fun at all, Tracy. Okay, let's take a look, friends. Fort Wayne, Indiana. Attorneys representing Delphi suspect Richard Allen have filed a petition asking the Indiana Supreme Court to take action in the case. If there was ever a time when the openness mandated by the trial rules and access to court rules was critical, it's this present case. One of the most high-profile cases the state has ever seen. Maggie Smith writes in a brief filed Monday. For many Hoosiers, this is the first time they have followed the workings of a court in this state. Yet the trial rules and access to court record rules have been repeatedly violated, leaving the public and media in the dark. Not cool. Allen was arrested on October 28th, 2023, on 2 charges of deleting in the 2017 passings of Libby and Abby. The 2 girls went missing just after going over the Monon High Bridge. The brief Monday goes through the background of the criminal case against Allen. The attorneys representing Allen refer to the proposed order he filed in April, asking that all documents in the case be marked as public documents. Allen's attorneys say more than 125 records have been excluded from public access. The brief also argues the court improperly handled the events leading up to and during the hearing on October 19th. We've had an unexpected turn of events, ladies and gentlemen, Judge Gull said in court. Earlier this afternoon, the defense attorneys have withdrawn their representation of Mr. Allen, Mr. Baldwin. Mr. Baldwin made a motion to withdraw. I granted that oral motion to withdraw. Mr. Rossi will be submitting a written notice to withdraw, I'm assuming in the next couple of days. But no, they decided that they want to go pro bono, and she was not happy. She's still saying, no, I can't let them in. But I can let my buddy and my buddy's husband, we'll get him in there. It's good money. Here, come work with me. That's what it feels like, guys. It feels disgusting. I have a very flexible, it looks like almost like a hockey bag that might be able to do the same darn job. I think. Possibly a new suspect, Blichten, right? The brief says Allen's defense team, including Brad Rossi, Andrew Baldwin, were in shock about what happened in the in-chambers meetings held with Judge Gull before the actual hearing started. They say Judge Gull gave them the option to voluntarily withdraw or the trial court would read. See, like, that's being a bully. She was being a bully. You can't do that, can you? It's like blackmail. You do this or this is coming out. I really do. I need to get think tank. Wonder how I can do that. Think tank suitcases. Allen is charged for a hearing. Is scheduled for a hearing, sorry, in his criminal case Tuesday. Okay, we've done all that. Wow. And here we are. Crikey. I don't know. It's getting bad. I really need to look for some and add it to merch. I wonder if they'd let me add my own merch to that. That I don't know. It's all trying to be swept under the carpet, but it's not happening. I think you're exactly right, Mel. Where are the transcripts and recordings for that? Yep. Yeah, I guess so. Listen to the shady girl. I don't care what her job is. It's just a job. And that doesn't mean she can't be shady as F. And I really think she could be. Personal opinion, don't sue me. Crikey, my iPad just thrown to the ceiling. Huge fireworks went off. I think I'm okay. They make me jump, friend. Anything that makes a popping sound. Like I'm probably one of the very few adults that is literally afraid of a balloon. They make my heart stop. Every time one gets popped, it's like I go through the ceiling. I remember my son having like his 4th or 5th birthday, and that's what he wanted was like to be able to pop them. And I did. I blew up all these things, and then I just stood in the kitchen in terror. Yeah. Job done. Well, yep, next please. That's the thing. So if this guy turns out to be innocent, he has to sit in prison for 2 years. And you know what? We don't even know. We've got somebody on the bridge, and we've got Richard Allen placing himself on the bridge. But the woman who's seen that person standing on the bridge said the guy was about 5'10", and he was young. That's not Allen. So I don't know. He put himself there at the time this stuff happened. I think that's sus. I'm not impressed with it. But with what's going on in the courthouse, you don't even know how to make sense of anything at this point. Oh, okay. Yeah, Canada's the same, right? If this guy's innocent, can you imagine the backlash this law system will have to face even more so, like Clifton says. Yep. Yeah. Yep. All the time. Just want Halloween, bonfires, Christmas, New Year's is coming. They have to be the first to start. So September they usually do, and it will go on till 2024. Is that right, eh? Yeah, I'm starting to get cranky with this case. I really am. It's not gonna stop me from following it, but I'm really, really getting cranky about how the legal system is working out there. I don't know anymore about Richard Allen. I don't. I don't get it. Lots to look at, guys. I'm thinking I really wanna take a look at, some of the powers that be because something's off. I'm not saying he's innocent, but when those pics of a person on the bridge, it left me with a few questions, but it was a while back now. Well, when he was asked what he was doing on that bridge, he said he was watching fish. So, I mean, that doesn't fly very well, watching fish. And I'm not one that believes 100% about the sightings either. I think maybe the kids might have seen him, but I think there was other ways for him to get there without being seen. And if he was crossing that bridge and that is I mean, the photo that Libby has is the guy. But is does that mean Alan's the guy? I mean, what does this mean for Keegan Kline? And I'm sorry, I know that a lot of people don't like this, but Richard Allen or, oh my word, Ron Logan. I have done lives on them as well because we have to look back. I'm gonna see who else they had for suspects over time and just I don't know, there's gotta be something out there that can explain some of this. With all the shady-ish going on, they need cameras in the courtroom. Transparency is everything. Yep. So people celebrate trying to blow up something by blowing up more stuff. Interesting. Hmm. Oh, yes, he did. He admitted being on the bridge at that time and says, no, he did not see the girls. But yes, he was on that bridge at that time. So if that's the case, he does. He admits to being there. But the thing is so does Keegan Kline, right? He says he was not too far. Oh, okay. Talk to you later. Great day, friend. So, yeah, I mean, maybe we're going to have to wait another week and see what happens. What do you guys think is going to happen with this judge? Do you think she's going to be penalized? I mean, where else did we just see this? Like oh yes, of course. The Lisk case, Long Island Cheerio, right? Yeah. They seen him on camera going there about 1:30 and then not really anything confirmed as to when he left. Yeah. They got him going there but didn't catch him leaving. And he does say he was on that bridge at that time. Yeah, what we think and what will actually happen is two different things. No, none of the witnesses do, because, I mean, you can listen to that one lady who says she's seen somebody on that bridge, but who she describes is the second sketch that comes out of the young guy. They say that that big kid was standing on the bridge. So, if that's the case, this guy doesn't say anything about seeing anybody, and Richard Allen didn't mention anything about seeing him either. It's a hot mess, guys, just a hot mess. So with that said, I think I'm going to call it. We've gone through everything I thought would be important for us to look at. And if anything else comes out, guys, I am on it. It's heartbreaking to watch this go down the toilet. So let's hope that some way, somehow, this case, whether it's done by different defenders, different judges, different prosecutors, that might be the way it needs to go. So with that said, guys, happy Thursday. Enjoy the rest of your guys' day. I might see you later for another live, but if not, I'll absolutely see you tomorrow. So have a great day. Bye.